Welcome back to First Take. 10-time NBA All-Star Carmelo Anthony has been notified that he will be a first ballot election in the Basketball Hall of Fame class of 2025. Sources telling our Shams Charania. Anthony led Syracuse University to the first and only NCAA championship as a freshman before being drafted third overall by the Denver Nuggets as a part of the esteemed 2003 draft class. They were loaded. Melo played 19 seasons with 6 different teams in the NBA. Currently has the 10th most points all time. He won 4 Olympic medals with Team USA, taking home 3 golds, and as mentioned, is a former NCAA champ. Peter Rosenberg joining the party. Great to have you. Along
Great to
with
be
Marcus
here.
Morris and, of course, SA. Full studio. You know I'm happy. Oh, of course, and Big Perk. Box office right now on the big screen. Good to see you too, my man. All right, SA,
Yes.
What stands out to you most when you look at Carmelo's basketball legacy?
I want to preface my comments by saying I'm not too objective about this. I love this brother. He's family to me. We're very, very tight, and I got a lot of love for him. I'm so happy for him. Averaged 25, nearly 25 and 7 as a New York Knick. 10-time All-Star, top 10 scoring list all time. Melo is special. Unfortunately for me, the number one thing that comes to my mind is the absence of a championship. Let me tell you why. Remember, I broke the story years ago when LeBron James decided to take his talents to South Beach. I reported that story. I've told this to everybody. They could deny what the hell they want. We ain't arguing about this. It was supposed to be Melo, not Bosh in Miami. So what I'm saying, Melo knows exactly where I'm going with this because I say it all the time. If Carmelo Anthony were in Miami instead of Chris Bosh, and I got love for Chris Bosh too, good dude. If Melo was there, they don't lose to Dallas.
Yeah. Agreed.
They don't lose to Dallas.
At all.
And they're going to win the other 2 chips that they won too. Which means instead of 0, the brother would have had 3 titles, in my opinion. Yes, I feel that way, Perk. Let me finish. I believe that Carmelo Anthony would have won at least 2, likely 3 chips if he had joined D-Wade and LeBron in Miami. But it didn't happen because years earlier he had to opt out. You know, he went to 5. They had to opt out. He didn't take it because he wanted that money from Denver and all of that other stuff. That's what rings with me because everything else he's done. And he means that much to basketball.
Let Perk respond because he's shaking his head at you.
He didn't go there.
Perk, you don't agree with them? Tell me why.
No, I don't. I don't agree.
That much to
Let
basketball.
Perk respond because he's shaking his head at you.
He didn't go there.
Perk, you don't agree with them? Tell me why.
No, I don't. I don't agree with him. Let me get that out the way. First of all, we are not going to devalue what Chris Bosh brought to the table.
I didn't do that.
Right? And no. But what I'm saying is, you always looking at one side of the basketball, and that's my problem with you. Chris Bosh brought a different dynamic defensively.
I know he did.
They was able to go small ball while allowing not being able to give up a lot defensively because Chris Bosh had the ability to anchor the defense. So I don't know if they would have beat the Dallas Mavericks if they would have had Melo instead of Chris Bosh. I don't know if they would have completed the mission of beating the biggest problem that we had, Stephen A., when we met the Heat in the finals when I was with Oklahoma City, is that we couldn't figure out Chris Bosh at the 5, and we had to go small and try to match their match their lineup. Serge Ibaka was too young. Now let me get to giving flowers to my boy Carmelo Anthony real quick. One of the greatest scorers to ever touch the damn basketball. 0 flaws. It wasn't a scouting report or a game plan for Carmelo Anthony besides trap him and make him give up the ball. The king of the post-ups, the king of the pivot, the king of the spin moves, the king of the tomato chest at the forward position. Had it all. He pulled out the hezzy pull-up 3 before KD added it to his game. So when I think of Melo and watching him go through AAU, watching him go through Syracuse, hell of an NBA career, obviously, I'm looking at one of the greatest scorers to ever touch the damn basketball, a walking bucket.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree with Perk, man. Listen, growing up, Melo was a guy that I looked up to, the playing that mid-post, the jab steps, the getting to the basket, the aggressiveness, the wanting the ball in his hand when it was prime time. You couldn't say a word to me about Melo. You can't say one bad word to me about Melo. I'm always going to be Team Melo. Listen, that's my guy. I modeled my game behind him. And his stats, his career, it speaks for itself. Yes, he didn't win. A lot of guys haven't won in this game. It's super hard to get a championship in the NBA, but his career speaks for it. I'm happy for him. Congratulations, my brother.
Huge congrats. Peter, obviously you got strong ties to New York City. You've been on the radio here for God knows how long. What do you have to say about that?
Well, yeah, the only thing I'll push back on Marcus on is he did win. Like, let's not forget about that. We're talking about the most decorated Olympic player of all time. We're talking about bringing a championship to one of the most important basketball institutions in this country. Like, you think about what Syracuse basketball is, you think about what Jim Boeheim is, you cannot remove Carmelo Anthony, who, by the way, it's not like as a freshman, the guy was a passenger on that championship. 20-10 in the Final Four. Cooper Flagg dreams that he will have a weekend like Carmelo Anthony had 2002, 2003. The one thing I'm left with when I think about Carmelo is a certain level of disappointment in the New York fans for some of the treatment of Carmelo Anthony over the years.
Ridiculous.
Like, the fact that they didn't get a championship in those times, in spite of what he did in 2012-13, in spite of setting the record for guard and scoring at the time, the things that he did were really special, and the fan base in New York, frankly, always blamed him for things that were not a Carmelo Anthony problem.
2013, he was a scoring champion, obviously, and the point is that this is one of the greatest things you can say about somebody like Perk said, a scoring machine, a bucket. There's so many guys that you can point to despite their greatness. They didn't capture something because of them. That's not Melo. The only thing you can blame Melo for is that he didn't end up in Miami. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but when he showed up on the court, he wasn't the reason. What you would expect it from him was what he delivered.
Yeah, you can only control what you can control. Is he a top 5 Nick all time?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Not even.
Yeah, I don't really see where you'd go. You know what I'm saying? Like, Frazier, Reed, Ewing.
Yes, right.
Melo. I think he's top 4 Nick of all time.
Sure, I tell you top 3. And the only reason I question that is because we're going to look at the title in 73 and ask who was on that team.
Right.
You're going to look at Ewing. He averaged more than Ewing. And by the way, Ewing had to deal with Jordan, no doubt about that, as everybody did. Melo had to deal with LeBron because LeBron was in Miami with D-Wade and Bosh. And I know that Bosh is exceptional and Hall of Famer and contributor on the defensive side of the ball. But I'm thinking Dallas, when you had troubles offensively as Miami, that doesn't happen if Melo's there. Melo's like, this is Melo. With LeBron and D-Wade on the floor, this is what Melo would have done. Man, give me the damn ball.
Please.
Give me the damn ball. Y'all just move out the way.
Please. And
this hesitancy on y'all part. It ain't none of mine. That's right.
Played Melo at the 5.
Hesitancy on mine. Give me the damn ball. Against Dallas, that's what he would have done.
Carmelo was like, offensively, he was a player that if you were a little kid, you dreamed of playing basketball the way Carmelo Anthony played basketball. I mean, think about the class he came in with.
Yeah.
He's the best offensive true scorer, I think, of that group. He is as natural a scorer as you will see play basketball.
Marley, one of the biggest things that happen, people don't notice. Perk will appreciate where I'm about to go. Joe Dumars, one of the great executives